Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I said hey.
Hey.
Welcome back to my channel.
Hey, girl.
Hey y'all, I'm Jazmyn W. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Y'all know I like to jump right into it, but I first must let you know that if you have not subscribed to my channel and you watch me week after week, you don't support Black women, and that is a damn shame. Also, I love to start off all of my YouTube videos by supporting Black businesses. For the time being, I am supporting myself. I will be in Chicago with my friend Brandy Denise on April 30th. And I will be in Dallas the weekend after, or the Thursday after, on May the 4th, doing stand-up comedy. Yeah, I really want y'all, if you are in those cities or near those cities, to come out. Not only, watch me tell some intimate stories, but also, support like women in comedy. Not only to not only to watch me tell some intimate stories, but to meet me, and also supporting women in comedy. I'm very funny. That's the reason y'all come back and watch my YouTube every week. So yeah, come watch me do stand up. I'm even better, and I'm actually a lot different when I do stand up as well. So yeah, it's a difference between me talking about other people and talking about myself, to be honest. Anyway, let's get into Ready to Love, this past Friday's episode. This was the finale, and then this upcoming week we jump into the reunion. There's probably going to be 4 parts, honey, even though it's only 1 part worth of content. But hopefully it's no more than a 2-part reunion. Anyway, so this week we got to see the women introduce, or the women introduce the men to their family members. Because, I guess your family knows more about you than anybody else. So we wanted to see what the family members thought about the men involved on the show. First, we have Morgan, Tony, and Morgan's brother. I thought Morgan and her brother looked just alike to me. Like, the first thing that Morgan's brother pointed out was he was concerned about Tony's New York aggression. And that is exactly how he put it. That is a quote. He said, you don't want me to have to come find you if you really acting up. And he asked Tony about his aggression. Me and my friend actually had a conversation about this, just a very brief conversation. We didn't get too deep because I was telling her that, guys on the East Coast, like, I've actually never dated anyone from the East Coast.
You ain't dated nobody.
And I've never been on a date with anybody from the East Coast. But in my head, I tend to think that guys on the East Coast are more aggressive and do have like bad attitudes. And maybe this is me being judgmental, like,
or the media?
I don't know. When I was in high school, I used to always be like, I'm gonna date a guy from New York and he gonna have a strong New York accent. And that never even happened. In fact, like, whenever I hear a guy with like a super strong New York accent, I'm always like,
right.
But anyway, comment below and tell me if you guys think that, or if you know that, or you can't know, I guess in your opinion, that guys in New York are more aggressive, or guys in New York have more of an attitude thing going on. Because you think about a New Yorker, you think about somebody who's rude with a bad attitude. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, Italian, whatever the case is, or Italian is white. But anyway, you just think of somebody who has a bad attitude, maybe. So it's weird. I don't think that about the women, but I do think that that is a stereotype, I guess, about the men. But let me know in the comments if you've dated people from the South, from the West, and from the East Coast. Let me know who tends to be more aggressive. This should be interesting. Anyway.
And some people like the aggression.
Morgan's brother also asked about the Natasha situation, and he said he laid with Natasha because he was single. Or that's what I said, I think. He was like, it was at the beginning of the process. I didn't know how the process was gonna go. Morgan, we weren't talking or anything like that yet. And honestly, yeah, it's none of Morgan's business whether he laid with Natasha, honestly, because they're not together.
And still ain't together.
And as we see by the end of the episode, they're not going to be together. Tony said that he was concerned about Morgan's brother's comments because obviously Morgan had to tell him everything that he was asking him about. He was like, does Morgan think I'm aggressive? Does Morgan think that I have a bad attitude or whatever? And the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
He's like, I don't know what was relayed to her brother or whatever, but it's exactly what you're hearing. That's what was relayed to him. I wrote down Morgan is just really gorgeous to me. I think she's beautiful. And at the end of the day, she said, I choose me. She said, I'm not sure you're ready to love. And I wrote down, finally.
Thank God.
She said that when Lyndon told Tony that he could have Morgan, because if Marcia was there, he would be going with Marcia anyway. She said that that was the nail in the coffin for her. And I'm glad that that was her decision, and that was the nail in the coffin for her, because that was the nail in the coffin for me. And y'all know the fact that Morgan was even putting up with Tony throughout this whole process annoyed me. I thought she didn't have no self-esteem, but apparently she was just trying to make it to the end of the season, and I don't blame her. I get your TV time, baby. That's why you come on the show, to get airtime, screen time. So whatever. Let's move on to the next couple. Why am I scratching like Tyrone Biggums? Anyway.
I don't know.
Next, we have Cynthia and her beautiful family, a beautiful trio of Black women. I think it was her sister, a cousin, and maybe another cousin or something. I don't know, honey. Anyway, at the beginning of Cynthia introducing Andre and Anthony to her siblings and her family members, they all was crying. They was like, we seen Cynthia and everything she been through, and we want you to treat her right. And Cynthia was like, Cynthia, go to therapy.
Please go, because...
Go to therapy, because there's no reason, rhyme or reason, you should be here this broken up about the pain and hurt you have experienced in the past while trying to choose between these men. Go to therapy, honey. Go to therapy. Because imagine me trying to choose my next biblical husband.
Biblical.
Imagine me trying to choose my next biblical husband and being there.
Okay.
Crying about my last husband.
That's your cyclical husband.
That doesn't seem healed. That doesn't seem whole. It just doesn't, it's not clicking with me. I'm sorry. Anyway, Andre said that he dated a 23-year-old at 40 years old, and she also had a child. And he said, he's been a stepdad for years. Now, my question is, Andre, it seemed like he dated the 23-year-old for quite a while, like at least 2 years. So was she 23 when you met her, or was she 21 when you met her? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think she was probably younger than that.
Yes.
We all know why he dated a 21-year-old, 23-year-old, or whatever she was. We know, because she was young. And he said a mature 23-year-old.
Right.
I don't care. Listen, I'll just say this. I was a very mature 21-year-old. I was. Now, 14 or 13 years later, I realize that I was a kid. Sure, I was a very mature kid, but I was a kid. Now I have the life experience, the confidence, the reassurance, the self-love and care of a woman.
A grown woman.
Okay? And you don't have that at 21. It's impossible to have it because you're 21. You have as much as confidence and self-love as you're going to have at 21. And I believe I had as much as I could have had at 21. But now at 31, a couple of years ago, completely different.
Yep.
So you dated her because she was young.
And probably dumb.
She's still developing. That's why. And you swooped right on in at the right time, because when somebody is still developing, it's easy to manipulate, persuade, have a conversation. It's easier to do a lot of things with them.
Yep.
Anyway, Andre wants his own kids. He says, I'm okay with stepping in and being a stepdad, but I do want my own children. And I wrote down, does Ant? Because we never saw Ant and whether he wanted more kids or not. It's like it never came up, on camera anyway. I wrote down, Andre is afraid to tell Cynthia he don't want to be with her. For some reason, it's like he knows she's a good woman and she's stable and she's smart and all of the things, but for some reason he just want to be with Jeffrey. That's it, and that's okay.
I think it's the biblical sexual chemical.
Cynthia's sister said that it's not only about Cynthia, but it's about the fact that Black women always have to do everything, anything and everything, and we're always getting hurt and always getting, dragged through the mud. I guess seeing her sisters really care about her well-being is really powerful, but it also made me sad. I'm like, damn, Black women, of course, women in general, right? But for some reason, Black women, we always get dragged through the mud.
Short end of the stick.
And I know lots of women get dragged through the mud, right? I know. But it just seems like we just come out the dirtiest, doesn't it?
Filthy.
So it's kind of sad to see 4 Black women on camera really hurt, you know what I mean? And really wanting to be treated well. That longing of wanting to be treated well is just opens up something in you emotionally, doesn't it? So I felt like, wow, as a Black woman, I can relate of wanting more, wanting better from society in general.
Everybody.
Not just, romantic relationships, but friendships and, and lifestyle and equal pay and opportunity and all of the things. It's just like, constant dragging through the mud. And I just felt like maybe that's what made all of the girls so emotional. But I do think that we have the power to collectively heal from this hurt. And we don't have to be dirty, baby. Yeah, we may get dragged through the mud, but we can take showers.
Girl, okay, bye.
I know that's not a good example, but y'all know what I mean, we can heal. Anyway, I wrote down Cynthia's family was just so kind. I love those girls. Like, they were just kind. And they treated with the guys with a lot of respect. Anyway, at the end of the episode, Cynthia and Aunt Anthony were there, and wasn't Cynthia just talking about Jeffrey's mom dress or her mom dress last episode? And look what she got on.
Ooh. It's a mess.
The first time we saw Cynthia, she was in a hot, green number with the cutout and the titties was just jiggling and just everything was in the right place. And now you in this.
Yeah, mom dress.
Why yada? Girl, don't wear that no more. Anyway, I wrote down Anthony looked checked out to me. He didn't look like he was extremely happy. It felt like he was just going through the motions, in my opinion. But hell, what do I know? I'm only a comedian.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on to Mark Anthony and Mercedes. Mark Anthony and Mercedes are constantly talking about the possibility of being in a long distance relationship because Mark Anthony does work in New York and he does work in Miami. I just think that this conversation is so odd, specifically considering the fact that Mercedes is a flight attendant. What does it matter where he is? Because it's maybe a 2-hour flight from New York to Miami, and you are a flight attendant.
And you be flying.
So don't you be flying?
Right. That's what yeah. Okay.
I don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Just say you didn't want to be with him. Child, anyway. She said, I don't know if I want to start a relationship on a long distance note because that's not building a solid foundation for a relationship. Would you rather start a relationship in a long distance situation or end one in a long distance situation.
She don't want one to begin with.
Because the beginning of the relationship is when you want to start if you're going to try a long distance thing. You don't want to build a foundation and then go long distance. Hello? What's not clicking?
What's not clicking, Steven? Okay.
I'm like, what? Mercedes brought her friend Vanessa here to, I guess, analyze Mark Anthony. I really thought Vanessa could have stayed home. I really did. Vanessa was like, so do you like to compromise?
Is that how she was?
Oh, you don't? Okay. It sounds like he don't like to compromise. So do you like to, just calm down. We're at the end. This is the last episode. This is the last episode. Like, we don't have to do all that during the last. I know you want to be entertaining. I know you want to entertain. But baby, you ain't got to do all that. Oh my goodness. I wrote down, is it this deep? If you guys try long distance and it doesn't work out, who cares? You're not getting married. Enjoy the ride. I'm like, why is Mercedes acting like she hasn't been serious this entire season, but now she's so serious at the end about this decision to be boyfriend and girlfriend or to continue to date? It's like, I don't get it. Anyway, Mercedes ended up saying no, she doesn't choose Mark Anthony because she doesn't want to be in a long distance relationship. She said she's done a lot of work on herself, blah, 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 and she don't want to be starting off on the wrong foot. If that's what you want, baby, then power to you, I guess.
Is that your air conditioning or?
I really wish Mark Anthony had a better personality, because I would say, you know who will do a long distance?
Girl, anyway.
Anyway, let's move on to Jeffrey and her sister and Andre. Andre said that he really feeling Jeffrey. She's the most feminine woman. There's a lot of chemistry between them. And I wrote down sexual chemistry. She said this is her biblical husband. I said this is her sexual husband.
Exactly. Sexual chocolate, honey.
I turned into Nene Leakes.
Bloop.
This is her sexual husband, in my opinion. Anyway, she said that they are spiritually connected. This sounds real freaky to me. I don't know. The Jeffrey sister was beautiful and sweet, just as we expected. She's in her feminine era as well. And Andre told us that he's seen the kids, honey. He's seen the kids and they're lovely. Huh. I said all three of them?
All three of them.
Anyway,
okay, this is getting weird, Jazz.
I wrote down Jeffrey's sister's too easy, honey. She didn't ask no difficult questions. She just sat there and smiled. I bet Jeffrey, before Andre walked in, Jeffrey was like, you better not mess this up for me. You better not fucking ruin this for me, okay? Sit here, smile, be nice, be feminine. Step into your feminine energy.
Okay.
Don't ask him shit. I know Jeffrey was in that act, honey. She was. Anyway, at the finale, Jeffrey had on a very sexy dress. There was no family around, so she had the legs out. And she approached Andre as he held half a dozen roses in his hand, and she was like, I love red roses. And I was like, especially not even a full dozen. I'm sorry. I'm bougie when it comes to flowers. I'm used to getting gorgeous bouquets.
Beautiful.
So you're not about to roll up on me with half a dozen roses in plastic. I'm sorry. That's
at least make it 12.
I'm gonna be like, oh, these are nice. Thank you.
These are fine.
Sometimes when y'all be posting y'all sunflowers on social media, be like, look at what my man, he just got me some flowers. I'd be like, baby, these sunflowers.
Okay, that's high school.
Anyway, let me be quiet because I'm home alone.
Period.
Jeffrey said, I want what God wants for me.
God don't want you with nobody.
I desire what God desires for me. When Jeffrey went to make her speech, her grand finale speech, she said, can you hold these for me, baby?
6 roses.
She had to hand Andre the flowers so she could talk. Jeffrey tripped me out, honey. She said, baby, guess who not about to lift a finger? Me.
Okay.
Jeffrey said the only finger she lifting is this one.
Ring finger.
Period. So, listen, if y'all don't take notes. Anyway, Jeffrey said, I'm amazing. I'm beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I'm special. I'm smart. I'm one of a kind.
Feminine.
And God said, it's you. You are my biblical husband. And I wrote down, Jeffrey, y'all just dating. He not your husband, honey. He not even your fiance. He actually not even your boyfriend, Jeffrey.
Actually.
But honey, if that's her biblical husband, then call me cyclical cousin, okay? Anyway, that's Ready to Love. I cannot wait for the reunion. I think maybe I should go live because I don't think I'm going live for Ready to Love this entire season. So after the reunion, it'll be late. It'll be late on a Friday because I have to wait till my baby goes to sleep to go live. But I will be going live to talk about the show. Look for it on my YouTube channel as a little placeholder for the countdown to the live or whatever. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all on later on this week for Married at First Sight. Okay,
Married at First Sight. Bye.